One of the images in the Rosh Hashanah is the image of the barren woman. Sarah, Rebecca, and Hannah couldn't have children, and they wanted children. And the rabbis say that on the holiday of Rosh Hashanah they were answered and they were given children. People confuse fun with happiness. They think that fun is happiness, that happiness is just the sum of fun experiences. But that's not true at all. Fun has nothing to do with happiness. Fun is really a diversion, where you divert your mind from your problems so that you don't have to think about them. But then when the fun is over, you will then have to return to your problems. Happiness is a state of mind, knowing that you've accomplished something in the world, knowing that you made a difference. And having children is one of the greatest sources of happiness in the whole world, because you know you've made a difference. You have the opportunity to shape and to mold a human being. You have an opportunity to really make the future. It's true, when children grow up, they go their own ways, but they always remember the input which you gave into them. How does a child learn? A child learns by responding to his environment. A mother truly knows she's needed, and that's what Rosh Hashanah tells us. On Rosh Hashanah, we don't ask for the happy life. We ask for the good life, for the contributing life. Because if we have the good life and the contributing life, we will be happy. Life is not filled with fun and games. Being a mother is not all roses and all happiness. There's a lot of aggravation too, but it's so rewarding. It teaches us all that the most important things in life come with effort. They don't come by putting on a false front and having fun. I remember the story they tell about the Aggie who had very bad manners. And so he went to Oxford and he learned how to speak English, how to dress, how to order food and so forth. Then he came to New York and went to a fancy store and he ordered the fanciest wines and the fanciest clothes and the fanciest cheese. And the owner of the store looked at him and he said, "You're an Aggie, aren't you?" And he said, "How do you know that?" He said, "Because this is a hardware store. On Rosh Hashanah, their destiny is inscribed, and in Yom Kippur, it is sealed."
Rosh Hashanah Yikosevun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Kamo Yavron V'chamo Kitzo, o mi lo kitzo, mi boish, o mi vamayim, mi vacherev, o mi vachayo, mi varov, o mi vatzomo. Rosh Hashanah Yikosevun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Mi varash mi vamagezo Mi vachaniko, o mi vaskilo, o mi vaskilo. Mi yonua, o mi yonua, o mi yonua. Rosh Hashanah Yikosevun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Yom Tov Kippur Yom Tov Kippur Yechosemun Mi shoket o mi torev Mi sholev o mi isyasol Mi yoni oni mi yosher mi shofer o mi yoram.
What stops us from attaching ourselves to others? What stops us from doing the right thing? Many times we're overcome with guilt because of what happened in the past. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur says, forget about the past. Forget about that guilt. Feel pure again inside. You can do it. The highest spiritual point in the world is Jerusalem, and the lowest physical point in the world is the Dead Sea, just 30 miles away. From the depths of degradation, everyone can rise up to the spiritual heights. It's possible. God even has put an Ein Gedi, God has even put an oasis down in the Dead Sea to allow each of us to rise to our potential. All of us can reply to the challenges of life. All of us can be someone better. We don't have to stay in the rut that we are now. We can all achieve greatness. We can all achieve the mission that we are put on this earth to achieve, and that is to make it a better place. None of us should ever look at ourselves and say, we're bad, we can't do it. I'm reminded of the story they tell about a man who came into the synagogue and on Rosh Hashanah and said, I'm a tailor, and once in a while I short my customers, and once in a while I may not eat kosher food, and once in a while I may break some of the religious rules for the holidays. But God, you create orphans and widows. I'll tell you what, if you forgive me, I'll forgive you. In other words, God has told us all, He will forgive us. Let us remember that on this day of Rosh Hashanah. Strengthen us today, bless us today, exalt us today.
Sefer HaChaim HaChaim Kosveinu B'Sefer HaChaim Kakosu V'yatem HaGreikim B'Adonai Elohechem Chayim Kulchem Hayom Chayim Kulchem Chayim Kulchem Hayom 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 Hayom, hayom, teyam seinu. Hayom, 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 teborcheinu. Hayom, 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 tegadleinu. Hayom, hayom, tidrishenu, letovo, letovo. Hayom, hayom. Hayom, 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 tishma shavoseinu. Hayom, hayom, tikavel v'rachmim u'rotzon es tfiloseinu. Hayom, 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 tislecheinu.
We can all live up to our potential. On Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we just do not talk about repenting for sins that we've done in the past, but we talk about living up to our potential. After all, there are many pious people in the world who haven't hurt anybody, but yes, when Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur come around, they know they failed too, because they haven't responded to all the challenges that life has before them. They could have done better too. They could have helped people more. They could have learned more. They could have developed the world better. You know that according to the rabbis, there are 5 levels of our soul. There is chaya, which stands for the level of the soul which is concerned about security. There is nefesh, which is concerned about beauty and learning. There is the level of the soul called yechida, which stands for love, how we need love to love and to give love, to be loved and to give love. And nefesh and neshama, which stands for freedom. We need to have some breathing space. And finally, the last level is ruach, mastery. We have to master something, not people, but master a trade, master a body of knowledge. We have to leave our imprint in the world. And all these things we have to put together. All these things we have to put together in one unit. Unfortunately, many people only concentrate on chaya. They only concentrate on security. And the rabbis say that is the same level that animals have. And all they're interested in is amassing wealth, and they're interested only in themselves. They're not interested in expanding their mind and seeing the beautiful things that are in the world, and seeing the wonderful opportunities that are there in the world to make this a wonderful and a beautiful place. And that is something which, of course, hinders them from reaching their potential, because they do not concentrate on the full elements that are within their soul. And because of that, they have difficulty in life. The Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur tells us, take away these veils from you. Don't be just concerned about one aspect of life. Be concerned about all aspects of life. Don't be ashamed or disappointed in yourself. What you should do is to change. Don't just wallow in self-pity. You can do it. God's there to help you. And God wants you to help yourself. I'm reminded of the story they tell about a man who prayed to God, and he said, I'm a pious man, and I've done your will all my life. Now I would like you, God, to give me the Midas touch. And the heavenly voice said, what do you want the Midas touch for? The last person who had it touched his daughter and she turned into gold. He says, don't worry, when I'm around my family, I wear gloves. And then an angel appeared and gave him the Midas touch. And sure enough, everything he touched now turned into a muffler. Unfortunately, that's the story with most human beings. That when they touch things, all it leaves is a hollow noise. They don't do anything of any permanence or value because they aren't committed to others and committed to moral values. May we all be so committed so we will truly have a healthy, happy, prosperous, and self-fulfilling new year.
This has been Sunday Devotion, featuring the United Orthodox Synagogue, under the direction of Rabbi Joseph Radinsky. You are cordially invited to attend the regular services of the synagogue, which is located at 9001 Green Willow. This pre-recorded program has been a public service presentation of KTRK TV.
Zakos Yitzorim, Zoem Tzorim, Zoem Tzorim.